What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Thursday, May 20th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, we have a 4-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. I like Nick Pivetta with a 19% pitching advantage over the Toronto Blue Jays. Nick Pivetta is only giving up a .688 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 8 righties here tonight. On top of that, the Blue Jays have only hit 3 of his last 15 pitches. That's a 200 batting average. So it's a small sample size, but he's got great splits, and he's 9,800 FanDuel salary and 200 less on DraftKings. Projected at 32.9 fantasy points here tonight. He has an ERA of 3.16. His record is 5-0 on the season, pitching an average of 94 pitches per game, averaging 31 fantasy points per game, and he scored 37, 28, and 36 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Nick Pivetta here versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. I like Freddie Freeman with a 55% batting advantage over Will Crowe. Freddie Freeman is batting 30% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a 1.051 OPS versus righties. And Will Crowe, he pitches his worst ball versus lefty batters, 24% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.231 OPS versus lefties. Freddie Freeman is 1-for-1 with a 3 OPS versus Crowe. Freeman is 4,100 FanDuel salary and 1,100 more on DraftKings. Projected at 12.7 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 6, 22, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Freddie Freeman here versus Will Crowe.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Now guys, just as a quick note, we just released a free DFS contest on Draft Dashboard for MLB and NBA for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's over $500 available in the prize pool, and this is a totally free contest you can enter as a Draft Dashboard member. So make sure to click the link in the description of this video, give Draft Dashboard a try, and you can start playing in our free DFS contest and compete to win some money. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Ozzie Albies with a 9% batting advantage over that same low salary pitcher, Will Crowe. Ozzie Albies bats 15% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .769 OPS versus righties. And Will Crowe is giving up a 1.017 OPS versus switch hitters. There's no at-bats versus Crowe yet, and Albies is 3,000 FanDuel salary and 2,100 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.8 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He hasn't scored any fantasy points in the last 3 games, so I think he's due for a hit here. So I like Ozzie Albies here versus Will Crowe. Okay, who do we have at the third base position? I like Justin Turner with a 23% batting advantage over Merrill Kelly. Justin Turner is batting 11% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .890 OPS versus righties. And Merrill Kelly, he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, 11% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .779 OPS versus righties. Justin Turner is 3 for 4, batting a .750 batting average and a 1.6 OPS versus Kelly. He's $3,700 FanDuel salary and $1,300 more on DraftKings. Projected at 11 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaged 11 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 0, 3, and 0 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I think he's due for a hit. So I like Justin Turner here versus Merrill Kelly. Okay, moving on to the shortstop position. Xander Bogaerts is in a good spot again here tonight, but I'm going to give you another shortstop. You can save a little salary with this pick. I like Miguel Rojas with he doesn't have a batting advantage here, but I'll tell you why I like this pick in a second. Miguel Rojas, he's batting a .684 OPS versus righties, and Vince Vasquez is giving up a .775 OPS versus righties. But the reason that I like this pick is because Miguel Rojas is 7 for 17, batting a .412 batting average and a 1.062 OPS versus Vasquez. So he has excellent player versus pitcher history, and Miguel Rojas is $3,000 FanDuel salary and $1,500 more on DraftKings. Projected at 9.8 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 9 and 9 fantasy points in the last 2 games. So I like Miguel Rojas here versus Vince Vasquez.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, moving on to the outfield position. There's a few outfielders that I like here tonight. I like Mookie Betts, I like Brian Reynolds, but the stud that I like the most is Bryce Harper with a 41% batting advantage over Sandy Alcantara. Bryce Harper is batting 14% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .999 OPS versus righties. And Sandy Alcantara, he pitches 28% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .755 OPS versus lefties. I like this pick because Bryce Harper is 6 for 16, batting a .375 batting average and a .938 OPS versus Alcantara. Bryce Harper is $3,900 FanDuel salary. He's $1,400 more on DraftKings. Projected at 12.5 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 0 and 13 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Bryce Harper here versus Sandy Alcantara. So the other player that I like, if you want to save some salary here at the outfield position, is Brian Reynolds with a 32% batting advantage over Drew Smyly. Brian Reynolds, he's batting 18% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .842 OPS versus lefties. And Drew Smyly, he pitches his worst ball versus switch hitters, 14% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .792 OPS versus switch hitters. And Brian Reynolds is 2 for 6, batting a .333 batting average and a 1.166 OPS versus Smiley. Bryan Reynolds is $3,100 FanDuel salary, and he's $500 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.5 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 10, 6, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Bryan Reynolds here versus Drew Smiley.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.